trying to get set up here. Is this thing bright enough? I should have brought it over before I set the camera up. The camera's right in the way. Leaving marks on my hand, man. I'm wondering, does this camera pick up this sound? Let's see. It probably picked up the light flicker, but I'm wondering if it picked up the sound as well. Open the iris. Lower f-stop is clean light. Caveat. The DVX lens is sharpest around 4 to 5.6. I don't even know what f-stop is, okay? Let's see, where are the buttons on here? Let's see. Oh, look at that. It gets nice and bright. That's sick. Alright. 4's good. Wow. Look at me learning how to use a camera. You know, this is something I probably should have, I don't know, taken classes on or something when I was younger. Maybe. Well, first of all, what's going on here? You know, you turn on the PS2. Why do I get this screen? Well, out of the blue, you know, I had been playing some Midnight Club 3 here and there, and I booted up one day to play, and it won't boot. It won't boot at all. It throws like an error message. I can't remember what it said. Ultimately, I took the drive out, plugged it into my computer, checked it out, and everything looked good as far as I could tell, but it wasn't working right. So I threw my hands up and I reformatted the drive, and I thought that I had set it up the same as I had it before, but now instead of booting to, I think most people know it as free McBoot, free MC boot, free memory card boot, I had free HD boot, and I thought I had it, and I thought I ran the installer, and it still just boots to launch ELF. And all I do is I come in here, and I go to my drive. It loads HDD modules. I go to my apps, FHDB, free HD boot, and then here's my OPL. It's dated for the 20th, which is when all this stuff happened, and I just boot this instead. This is how I get to OPL, and I guess that's like problem solved. It's kind of funny, this screen in particular, and this menu, there's something about this, it's going to be very hard to see. I don't think we're really going to get any of the details here. Oh, I was almost centered. Almost centered. We'll back it up a little bit. There's something about this screen that when you display it on a CRT, it just looks scary. Like, it looks like there's something wrong with my TV. You know, it's like, it's a little too jittery, the colors are a little off. And at least in my experience, this corner always sinks in, but I'm pretty sure that actually is like a CRT age thing. But yeah, this screen has always looked bad to me, and I've always felt like either there's something wrong with my CRT, or the component input, or the PS2's component output. You know, there's something going wrong. And then you boot into a game and it's fine. I only have Midnight Club 3 on my drive. But you know, maybe one day I'll show the networking stuff I have set up for it. But yeah, this is what I've been playing lately, is playing some Midnight Club 3, you know. So previously I had recorded footage, and then, you know, like for my vlog, I'll record the footage, and then I'll just like kind of put it over the, you know, while I'm yapping. But this go around, I didn't do that. And I think the reason my f-stop was as high as it was to make it so that the screen looked particularly good. I actually, well, I don't know, it doesn't look bad in the viewfinder. Maybe we'll just play a quick little race, okay? We'll just, you know. Your mother may have told you don't sit this close to the TV. You do whatever you want, you know? That's why I have glasses, actually, is because I sat too close to the TV. 21%, so, you know, I'm cruising along. Don't believe what people say on the internet. People say this game is easy. I don't think it's easy. Or maybe I'm just, honestly, I'm probably just bad. I'm being real here, I'm probably just bad. Let's see if we get copyright striked here. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go into our options. We're going to go audio, music. What we'll do is we'll set it to drum and bass. Okay, I feel like this is the genre that's least likely to get claimed on YouTube, but I guess we're gonna find out. Also, one thing about the music I wanted to say about this game, well, two things. First of all, a lot of great music, especially, I mean, come on, this era, this like 2000s era, I'm a sucker for it, you know, not gonna lie, I'm a sucker for it. I wasn't even into like the jungle, drum and bass type stuff back then, but now, I mean, half my day that's what I'm listening to. Like, I'm working on a project, and I have like the drum and bass stuff just blasting in my ears. I feel like it's really good for focus. The other thing I wanted to say is there's both a 9 Inch Nails and a Marilyn Manson song on the soundtrack, and I don't know what it is, but like these two songs, I think it's Rock is Dead and The Hand That Feeds. I don't know what it is about these two songs. You never hear these songs in normal gameplay. It even shows you stats for how often you skip music. I'm telling you, I skip music all the time. And those songs never come up. They never come up. And typically I have music set to all. I don't have it set to drum and bass. But they're like the rare Pepes, you know? That's a decade-old reference. They're like the rare Pepes for this game. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm sitting way too close to the TV. Let's just pick this guy over here and race him. Roy! Ugh. I could already tell by, you know, you get $5,000 for the race. You could already tell it's not going to be an easy race. I'm going to get my ass handed to me here. And, okay, here's my excuse, okay? I'm sitting... By the way, this is the best... Oh, it stopped. The best track, the best loading track. But I'm sitting way too close to the TV to be able to be competitive, okay? That's my excuse here. You know, sometimes the game lags so much here, especially in the rain, that it's like impossible to time your, you know, your start, because it doesn't count 3, 2, 1, go. It counts like 3, 2, 1. You know, like it's, you know, it's just laggy and glitchy. You sit this close to the TV and you definitely see the faults in CRT. But to be honest, I think it looks good. This is my first. Well, it's not my first. Well, yeah, it is. It's my first consumer aperture grill CRT, and it's big. It's a big boy. It was listed as a 36-inch, and I still didn't think I was going to be able to pull it off. Like, I didn't think I'd be able to get it. I didn't even think the guy wanted to sell it the way that he sold it. It's complicated. Yeah, it was erroneously listed as a 36-inch. It's actually a 32. And we figured that out early on. I asked him for the model number. It started with 32, and I'm like, buddy, you have this listed as a 36. And he's like, oh yeah, that's my bad. But yeah, he had it, oh, see, stuff like that. Oh, and I'm near the end of the race, too. It's like I got Mario Karted, but I Mario Karted myself, you know? Second place is okay, alright? You still get a little bit of money, Still 2 seconds behind, that's not good. Yeah, $1,500 and you do the re-race here. So it's still something. It's still, you know, it's still something. I don't know if this will have the little demo thing that plays. I guess we'll see. You know, I'll let it sit for a little bit here. So yeah, a keen eye may notice that this is a different TV than was previously here. So I have it's a 32-inch Sanyo is the one that was here. I kind of made a deal with a friend of mine who's been wanting a CRT. I wasn't willing to part with it, okay? I know I have this 32. I don't have room for another 32, okay? But I still wasn't willing to part with it. So the deal was I'm going to give him the 32-inch Sanyo for free. However, I'm going to retain ownership of it. So if something, I'll say God forbid, happens to my 32-inch Trinitron, I'm going to want it back. I'm going to want that 32-inch Sanyo back. Because it's a nice, even though it has I think it's called the shadow mask, which isn't, it's generally not preferable to an aperture grill screen, or whatever you want to call it. It's still, it's flat, it supports component, it's big, and one big thing, obviously I don't have the Sanyo in front of me here, but the speakers, if I remember correctly, the speakers are on the bottom, so the TV's actually lifted up, which kind of, first of all, it makes it weigh a little bit more, and second, it feels a little bit larger. Obviously, if you just, stick this on a stand, it's going to be larger, like the Sanyo, Anyways, but yeah, basically, I think I cut myself off earlier when I was saying this, but when the guy listed it, he had it listed for like $900, and it included a Sega Genesis, I think, and like some other stuff, some other random games. And I don't know anything about Genesis games, I don't know anything about the games that he had listed, but they, I don't know, I didn't really get what the whole idea was. So I messaged him and I basically just said, hey, I think the odds of me actually being able to purchase this are pretty low, but like, what would you sell it for? What is it even? What's the model number? And that's how we got to talking, and then another friend of mine, huge helped me pick it up. And when I say helped me pick it up, what I mean is he carried it with the seller, and I stood around and watched and supervised. So, I appreciate it very much. Okay, I'm just, I'm not the strongest guy in town. Okay, these things are heavy. All right, they're too heavy for me. And speaking of heavy and lifting and health in general, you might be able to tell in my voice a little bit. I've been sick. It hasn't been pleasant at all. Basically, what's been going on is, actually, I'm being reminded here. I picked up this shirt at the mall, and by the way, I did bring my Game Boy Advance to the mall, and my wife grabbed a bunch of, well, first of all, I didn't have service on my cell phone. This mall just has like no service, and my wife goes into the changing room with a bunch of stuff, and I'm like, it's of course it's like a ladies store, and I'm like, I don't know what to, so I sit down, I just play Game Boy, and she's in there for a while. I think I like complete the level. I'm playing Drill Dozer, but yeah, I was like, I gotta say, I packed it in my fanny pack. I have a pocket for the Game Boy Advance SP. The fanny pack is the move, okay? All right, we're not, at least me, okay? We're not kids anymore. We're not teenagers. We're not trying to impress anyone, okay? Just embrace the fanny pack, okay? Just embrace it. It doesn't matter. Who cares? That's, all right? So I picked this shirt up, and it's not long after that. It's within like a week. I put this shirt on, and I'm reading it, and it's, the sun is shining, it's a brand new day, and I'm alive, and Snoopy's happy. And I'm wearing this shirt, and I feel like death, okay? At this point, I don't even remember how much coughing, how much sneezing, etc. I was doing. But what I do remember is I had absolutely zero energy, and I was getting effectively no sleep at all, and the whole thing was just awful. To top it off, my son is sick, and he's not just coughing like crazy, but he's like, I think he was the kind of sick where it's not obvious that he's sick, but he's like very obviously being like fussier and like more upset than usual. And it's like, oh, it just so happens that acetaminophen seems to help. It seems to let you sleep longer. That's right, I remember he was getting up. You'd put him down for bed, he'd get up a couple hours in, and he would just like not sleep the rest of the night. You could barely get him to sleep on you, but he's not happy about it. So that was that. And my wife, she thinks, I don't even know, I can't say for sure on the time frame here, but she thinks that she was sick either first or at least before me. I don't know if it just didn't hit her as hard, or maybe, I think what had really happened, this is my guess anyways, is I think mine was going down deeper into my chest, and I think hers kind of stuck around up here. So she's, coughing and sneezing and stuff all the time. I'm doing the same, but I think it's just kind of like getting lower. What really did me in was I asked her, does it hurt when you cough, or is it just like uncomfortable? And she's like, it's just like uncomfortable. And I'm like, it hurts a lot when I cough. It hurts a lot. I thought there was a brief moment of time where I thought I had like a man cold, like I was just kind of like regular sick and was just kind of like making a big deal out of it. But I'll tell you what happened was, during the day, we're taking care of our son, and like both of us are just like completely drained, feel like garbage, and he, for whatever reason, is just like particularly energetic and wanting to like play and stuff, and I'm doing my best, but like it's not going well, and I feel so bad too. I'm like, young kids, they don't understand what's going on. They don't know why you're not like playing with them and not like happy and energetic and stuff. They just know that they want those things and they're not getting them, and it's just it sucks. And I remember saying to my wife, if there's ever a time where we need to like call in some backup, I know we're sick and stuff, but like, can we like get your family over here? Can we bring him there? Like even if they can watch him for just a couple hours, like I need sleep, I'm not sleeping, etc., etc. And she's like, well, they're sick too. And then it was like, within a day, I finally was like, I can't do this anymore. I need to go to urgent care. I went to urgent care, and who is it? It's my mother-in-law and my brother-in-law, and they're in the urgent care waiting room. And I go and I sit next to them, and I'm like, okay, I understand why we weren't able to bring, our son over. It made sense. I'm like, it's not just our household that's like, totally sick and totally out of commission, but it's like, it's all that, it's, everyone around us too. It sucked. But yeah, they ended up giving me antibiotics. Well, I don't know if they officially actually diagnosed me with pneumonia, but basically, like, from the time I was sick to the time I went in was only, quote unquote, only around 4 days. And the guy basically said, like, I think it's too early to call this pneumonia, but I am worried that this is spreading into your lungs, so I am going to prescribe you antibiotics. And that was, time the last few weeks is just, all over. I want to say that was that a week ago, or was that 2 weeks ago? I can't remember, man. I've just been so fried the last couple weeks, and yeah, my voice is finally like almost back. It's almost there. For whatever reason, I wanted to record this vlog while I still had my sick voice. I would say my voice is like at 85-95% back. It's like it's pretty much back, but not quite 100%. But yeah, on the topic of the shirt, I just remember like reading the shirt while I'm wearing it, and I'm just like, totally out. I had to keep repeating to myself, like, everything's gonna be okay. You're gonna get better. This is, sometimes people get sick. This is what happens. It's just, oh man, especially the whole thing started with a sore throat. It didn't even feel right to tell people that I was like sick. It's like, yeah, I have a sore throat. I'm not even like coughing or sneezing or tired or this, or I just have a sore throat. Ultimately it did turn into quite a big thing from that very small thing. And I think my wife is still not quite. I think she's not quite as recovered as I am because she didn't get the antibiotics. And then of course my son has an ear infection in both ears, and so we're giving him the antibiotics as well right now. It's kind of funny watching him. He doesn't want, he hates it. He hates taking it, and he'll whip his head back and forth. But the second that you like, you know, like he recognizes like you're gonna get the amoxicillin, buddy. I'm sorry, you're taking it. Then he kind of stops and he's like, all right, fine, I'm ready for it. And then he goes back to thrashing around. So yeah, a lot of stuff I guess has kind of happened between the vlogs. The main thing really is just being giga sick, like giga sick. The ASL finished up, so that's the Africa TV Star League. That's the premier Brood War, StarCraft Brood War tournament. You know, I was really rooting for Flash to win. He made it all the way to the finals, and he faced last year's winner, Soma. And Soma took this one. And it really hurts watching these replays where it's like, it went to game 7, and it's like you watch like all 7 games, and I don't remember the specific number, but I swear it was something like game 1, Flash, build order win. Game 2, Flash, build order win. Game 3, Flash, build order win. Game 4, Flash, build order win. All the way up. But he doesn't take all those games. He has, it's kind of like at the beginning of the game you do a quick like rock, paper, scissors, like kind of, sort of, you know, to see who's going to be advantaged. And he got advantaged every time. And even watching the, you know, Soma after the fact, he's like, I think it was something like after the 3rd game in a row where he does CC first, which is like a very strong but risky opening for Terran, for Flash. He's like, I was getting tilted. He's like, there's no way that he goes CC first on this map because he knows that usually I do this build which counters it. And he didn't do that build and he went CC first. You know, it's just a... you get the idea. I gotta say, I'm hearing this TV a little bit. I'm not 100% sure that this stand is supposed to hold this much weight. I put some books under it to prop it up, and perhaps a keen eye may notice that it is kind of sunken in the middle a little bit. I think it'll survive, but like for instance, this cabinet over here, you know, you see it pushes right up against it, versus over here you get a little bit of space. Anyways, one of the first things I watched on this new TV is I watched The Batman using, I may or may not show it off today, I picked up from AliExpress at the recommendation of RGB, Retro RGB, an HDMI-to-component converter. I gotta say, I don't know if this works better for, let's say, an Apple TV or other, you know, streaming stick, or even a Windows PC. Maybe it works better for a Windows PC, but in my experience, I can barely get this to work on Linux. It works, but barely. And this thing is supposed to support, I want to say it's like 480p up to... Maybe I don't want to guess and say it supports 4K, but it's you know, it's a higher number. But the only mode I can get to function on here is 480i. But still, I put the Batman, you know, the 2022 movie, I put it on my laptop, plugged it into the speakers, plugged it into here, and put it on the TV and changed the resolution of 480i and just played it on Plex. And sitting, you know, on the other side of the room, I mean, this is, I think if I remember correctly, I think this is a 480i TV. I don't think it natively supports 480p. I could be, maybe I'm misremembering that. In any case, like, it looks really good. You know, there's some of the scenes I'm like, I'm in disbelief. I'm like, there's no way that this is like 480i or whatever. And I can't remember the exact number, but I did the math on if you watch a widescreen video on this, like what's the equivalent screen size? I want to say it's a 27 widescreen versus a 32 full screen. I probably have that wrong. I mention this because of the ADHD, because I've been trying to work through I never actually watched the V for Vendetta movie. I've only actually read the, I'm gonna call it a comic, okay? Because, you know, our boy Alan Moore, he calls it a comic. He doesn't call it a graphic novel. But anyways, I've only ever read it, so I'm working through the movie. I'm not really sure what I think about it, but the reason I bring this up with ADHD is because, like, this is just how I watch movies. This is how I watch the Batman as well. Is like, I don't even know how many sessions I've watched it in, but like, I just kind of watch it in like 15, 20-minute chunks. I mean, I do the same thing with like a YouTube video. I'll have like 4 YouTube videos open. I'll just watch them little pieces at a time. I promise this is how I've always been, alright? And I don't love it. And it really is, it's impressive to me that I can like read anything, but I guess like if you're okay with reading in like 15-minute chunks, what's the issue? You're still reading. And you know, I saw someone mention with Infinite Jest that, you know, definitely a big theme in it is like television and entertainment and stuff. And there definitely is sort of a tilt toward the lowest common denominator in the book. I never thought about it this way, but the way that the book is structured is like, it's kind of like flipping through TV channels where it's like, especially at the start of the book, you get just these little vignettes, and you jump around in time, and you jump between multiple stories, and you know, they do link together thematically, even if they take place at different times. And even if you're getting like a cohesive story kind of fragmented, they do still link together thematically the way that you know, the author pieces them together. But I feel like I didn't consider this before, but like maybe that's why it's a little easier for me to digest. Is it's a lot maybe like Black Mirror in that way, where it's like, oh, you hated that Black Mirror episode? Just watch the next episode. Yes, they are. I think it's the same writer for most, if not all of them. Yes, they're you know, if you really hate the theme, then maybe you'll hate all of the episodes. But generally speaking, I feel like they're all different enough, you know. But yeah, I was even thinking with V for Vendetta. It's funny. I open it up now, and it's so I don't know if you can really tell, but it's like it's kind of easy to read. It's kind of easy to parse, but there's something about it that makes me feel like it would benefit from picking up like a hardcover copy. Maybe, I don't see, now that my memory of this is a lot worse than the reality here. When I actually look at it, it's quite detailed, quite vibrant. When I think about it, I'm like, oh, it's kind of like muddy and dark, and you know, I think I would benefit from picking up a hard copy where, you know, maybe the colors are a little more separated, maybe it pops a little bit more. But no, it looks fine. I don't know why I think that. I also have, sitting next to me here, I finally picked up some, also on the mall trip, ADHD, sorry. Also on the mall trip, we did manage to snag Seinfeld DVD collection for $5. And then I hopped on eBay and picked up this one for, I think it was $6. And then I realized I'm actually missing season 3. So I have volume 1 and volume 3, but I don't have volume 2. But yeah, I picked up these comic boxes, and I separated out. This is comics that I need to read, and then the other box is comics that I've already read. And that's, right now, that's enough for me. It's just the 2 boxes. I do have what I would consider to be quite a few, but I don't have so many that it's unreasonable or whatever. I think I forgot I had an Absolute Batman to read. I opened this thing up, and it's the first thing I noticed, and I'm like, oh crap, I need to read that. I did just read Barbara Gordon Breakout, alright, volume 1, and, you know, I thought it was interesting. I might keep reading it, maybe not, I don't know. I would say at the very least I might not be purchasing the physicals anymore. Maybe I'll just read it on my e-reader or something. I also grabbed Green Arrow, volume 1. I still need to read this Batman. You know, I do the DC subscription, and they were trying to send me Batman Hush 2, an issue of that, and I reached out and I'm like, I don't want this. That's not what I signed up for. And they're like, well, this is what we're sending to everyone because the publisher took forever to release it. And I was like, oh, I didn't know that, but I don't want it. So they actually they refunded that issue, and they're not sending it. I'm like, that's perfect. I'd rather have more of the the new volume Batman. I think it's 2025 is what it's considered. I had a buddy of mine mention I was going to wear one, but I ended up wearing this one. He turned me on to a bunch of shirts on this website that were all going on sale for like $7 or $8 or whatever. This is also where I picked up the Be Kind Rewind here. I grabbed 2 of these. I'll admit they're too long. Okay, when I go outside, I step on them. It's okay. They're still comfortable. So yeah, I'll show off some of those at some point. And what I want to do, I know this sounds probably a little bit crazy, but whenever I get rid of my old t-shirts, which is, I mean, that's a rarity, all right? My wife would probably prefer I get rid of t-shirts a lot sooner, but like, they'll have giant holes in them and the collar's all ripped up and, it's falling apart. And I'm like, what do you mean it's fine? It's the style. So yeah, what I want to do at some point, the few times that I've actually gotten rid of these things, I set them up like on my bed or something, and I take pictures of each one before I throw them out. I want to like use them in a video or something, or I don't know. It's probably stupid. I mean, they're just t-shirts or whatever, but some of these shirts are like, I knew that they existed, and I really wanted them, and I hunted on eBay, and eventually one of them showed up, and I grabbed it, and I wore it for years. And I loved it. As time went on, it got destroyed, and then I finally threw it out. And it's like, earlier when I'm like, we're not kids anymore, we're not teenagers anymore. This is what happens now. It's like take these video games for instance, okay? Just as an example here, where it's like, I know the day is gonna come where the PS2 just stops working, or the TV stops working, or whatever. So it's like, I really want this thing, I finally find it, I finally get it, and I enjoy it, and I enjoy it, and I enjoy it. I use it in videos, I play hours and hours of games, I watch movies, I watch TV, whatever, and then the day comes when it breaks. And it's like, how many years did I get out of that? I don't know. I don't really know if I'm articulating myself too well here, if I'm just kind of like, it's like in meditation and mindfulness stuff, they tell you with your breath, they tell you, like everything, your breath, it comes into being, it changes, and then it passes away. Pay attention to that process or whatever. And then that's everything, that's us, that's the games, that's my freaking t-shirts, okay? My t-shirts are a microcosm of the universe, all right? That's all I'm saying, is that my t-shirts are a microcosm of the whole universe. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Nothing crazy, okay? I'm not like Terrence Howard or something, okay? 1 t-shirt plus 1 t-shirt equals 3 t-shirts or whatever. Is it 1 divided by 1 or something? Whatever his weird thing is, I don't really remember. I don't know, I could yap about this stuff. Maybe I'll just try and get the, get this thing set up so we could at least take a quick peek at it. I think the only other thing I'll mention is I don't remember in my previous blog if I mentioned that we had both our dishwasher and our washer replaced, and I just wanted to whine for a quick second here, okay? Our hot water, cold water hookups are backwards, all right? They're flipped, and when the guy came to do the installation, I said, hey, I'm pretty sure that those are reversed, so can you just make sure that, they get plugged in the same way on the new one, or whatever. And he's like, well, I'll make sure that they're reversed. He runs it for a second or whatever, and he's feeling the hoses, and he's like, you're right, they are reversed. And I'm like, sick, sweet. And then he puts the new washer in, he starts it up, and he leaves, and then from that point forward, I'm doing my my laundry, and I'm like, that's a little odd. Every time my laundry is finished, even on the cold cycles, it comes out hot. And finally, I'm checking it, and I'm like, oh, he hooked him up. He checked them, and he's like, they are backwards, and then he still hooked them up the wrong way. So yeah, I had to get, I can't remember what it's called. It's like one of those wrenches that you get for, I think if I was like strong and it was in a convenient location, and I could get a good grip, I think the average person probably would be able to just swap it out with any sort of tool. But the stars were not aligned, and I needed to get this tool. All right, so yeah, let's try and hook this thing up. Just right before I hook it up, I just want to show, so it's probably going to be a little bit hard to tell, but over here, this is our component switcher. It's got 1, 2, 3. I actually probably need to look into getting a larger switcher, but what this does is it takes as input from 3 different component sources. So right now I just have my PS2 hooked up, and we're about to hook up the HDMI to component adapter here, or converter. And you can just switch between them. See? Over on this side, we have on top, there is an S-video switch, and it's got 4 S-video inputs. Today we just hooked up Super Nintendo, okay? And then underneath it we have a much larger switcher for composite. You know, your red, white, yellow cables. And sometimes that's only used for audio, I think. Lastly, in the back you can't see it, but there's a, I think it's called a splitter. I only use it for audio input, but in the past I've used it for the composite video as well. It takes the audio input, and right now all it does is it just repeats it into my amp. But what I want to plug in, what I want to get to, is I want to take that splitter and I want to send it to all of the inputs on the TV as well. You might say, Corbin, what's the point of that? Well, the idea would be, you know, you want to play some Midnight Club 3, but maybe you're getting bored of the soundtrack. Maybe you want to play a vinyl record, maybe you want to play a tape, maybe you want to do whatever normal people do and you want to play over Bluetooth or something. You know, whatever normal people do. You would change the TV to, you know, just turn the volume up on the TV like normal. So now you have your game sounds coming out of here. And then you would just turn off music in the game. So you just get your sound effects, and it's all coming through these speakers. And then, you know, you would just change the input on the amp and, you know, listen to a vinyl record or whatever. So that's the ultimate goal. And then additionally, I should at least mention that, you know, the amp has a 1/4-inch headphone jack on it, so it's pretty trivial to, like I have some Sennheisers over here. It's pretty trivial to use those. I don't, if I wanted to do headphones, I could, is all I'm saying. So yeah, that's this setup here. All right, let's grab, I don't think this is recommended, okay? But I'm pretty sure that you can just do, I'm pretty sure you can power it over HDMI. I think it powers itself. And unfortunately, I think my component cables are literally 1 foot long. So, all right, so this is input number 3. And I gotta say, I do regret picking up the such a short component cable. I don't know, I always do this thing where I'll break out the tape measure and I'm like, oh yeah, 3 foot actually would be perfect here. I think 3 foot's perfect. And then I get it in and I'm like, I wish this thing was like literally twice the length. It would just be so much easier. Honestly, it's not even a price difference. I just, for some reason, I just feel like, I'm like, oh no, this'll work out. This is good. It's not good. I was wondering how much the camera was actually picking up, so let's toggle over. I think it's gonna go crazy though. That's not too bad. Alright, so let's open ARander. See, I think that even literally what I just did, I think this is supposed to work. And the fact that it doesn't work I don't necessarily think there's something wrong with it. I actually think this is one of those rare times, quote unquote, where it's a Linux limitation. So let's try toggling it to 480i. Yeah, so the color's wrong, but you know, you have your bar on the top and stuff, so we're closer to what should be. And then you see I can move my mouse over here. Well, I just did a neo fetch, but it looks so bad you can't tell. So I have these two commands that I run. So this is xrandr and then output hdmi2, and I'm setting max BPC to 8. What is BPC? I don't know. Bits per color, maybe? Oh, that looks good. That looks right. I have another command, but now I'm wondering if I even need to use it. Where's my, I need the beat in my headphones. So yeah, I see a little bit of a, you know, like everything's still not quite right. Like it almost looks like the, let's say the green electron gun is firing a little bit too early, and all the other ones are firing on time. Like everything just, you know, it's just kind of like a little separated. Yeah, so the text becomes more and more illegible, but it's still, I mean, this is 480i, and I can still read this. I don't know about you. Let me see. Yeah, there's NeoFetch, distro, Arch Linux, blah, blah, blah. We're running ST 0.8.5. We're using 0 bytes of our 4 gig swap. We've been online for 8.5 hours. That actually, I feel like that's, I mean, it must be right. I thought it was, that's right, I had to reboot this morning or something. I don't remember why. I actually didn't realize it said this. 720p by 480 in 32-inch, 30 hertz. Interesting. I didn't know that it said that. Now, one interesting, I don't know, interesting thing you can do. Well, first off, let me just check to see if I need to run that second command. So this is supposed to set the color space to BT 2020 YCC. Let's just see if it does anything. It looked like it did something. Everything looks the same to me. All right. We can do ani-cli, right? Do you know where I'm going with this? Okay. And we'll search for Space Dandy, I think it's called. No results found. Oh, I wrote Dancy instead of Dandy. Oh, there's a season 2. I don't even think I knew that. Oh, here we go. Let's do episode, yeah, we'll do episode 1. Can we set the, oh, do we need to do Redshift running? No. It does look like I'd have to go out of my way to get audio functioning. For whatever reason, it doesn't seem like it's supported to send it over HDMI. This is just one of those things that I'm pretty sure that, like, if I'm on Windows, I think this actually just works better. I know that that's not something you're going to hear me say very often, but see, now that it's like full of color, I don't see that issue so much with, you know, stuff going off to the side. You can definitely see the, as when there's movement, you can definitely see the eye, you know, the interlacing. I think it looks pretty good though, you know, all things considered. And again, I still kind of can't get over the fact that this is you're not going to hear me say this, okay, normally, but like, this is my Linux setup. I can't get over the fact that I can't just like give it a 720p signal. The thing is, I haven't tested this, so for all I know, it doesn't work on anything. For all I know, I plug an Apple stick, an Apple TV in, and I have this exact same problem. I don't know. I don't know yet. It seemed like from what I saw online, and I verified, I took the converter apart, I verified that the chips are all exactly the same. from at least what I saw online, it seems like it should support this. That you should be able to just feed it a 720p signal, and it should just be able to just do it. I'm kind of bummed that I can't. So anyways, I feel like we've gone on long enough. So we're going to unplug our... you know what? Maybe I will have... here's the big thing, really. It's just, I can do it so I can just plug HDMI in and everyone's happy. However, that just gives me video. I don't want to have to plug in a separate audio thing. You know, I just want it to... I want it to be one plug for everything. I know you see all the hoops I jumped through for all my old retro tech, and I'm sitting here whining because I have to plug 2 things in. Actually 3, because I have to plug power in as well. Wouldn't it be so nice to just plug just the one USB-C in? You know what I'm saying? Wouldn't it be nice? Alright, let's see. Maybe I'll stand back this time. Do I need to touch the f-stop, or is this okay? Whoa, whoa, whoa! Oh, man. Even the motorcycle pulled ahead of me, man. Come on. What is that? 6th place. Come on. Look at that. Oh my god, we're like 20 seconds behind. $0, you know? I think I'm shaking the camera a little bit. That's okay. Let's try and do another. I don't like the rain races, you know, because it's just, I feel like you start to get a little out of control and it's just like GG, you know? Some of these races I played like a dozen times in a row, you know? Oh, I thought that was a turn right there. Well, at least now you can see, you know, what my issue is. It's I literally just can't drive. Alright, this one, $4,500, okay, so it better be not that difficult. It's also rainy again. Maybe they're all rainy right now, I don't know. I don't really know how that stuff works. I know it's kind of mean or whatever, but like the animation of the people flying off their bikes is actually like really funny. Because they go flying, man. Look at him, oh my god. He did that to himself, you know? You see what I mean? You lose control a little bit and it's like, you're just toast, man. Oh, I'm all out of the nitrous. I feel like Kanye right now asking for the nitrous. Alright, we'll do one more. We'll play one more time. Just to see. $1,300, okay, it's not for nothing. I'm pretty sure you get paid for top 3, so in these races where it's literally four cars, it's like, okay, I'll take it. These cops are like super annoying too, I'm just saying. I swear, sometimes I'll be in 6th place and these guys will come up and start messing with me and I'm like, are you kidding me? We got the nitrous. Look at this. Whoa. Okay. About a second. Well, I was gonna say 1.5 seconds, but it's not quite. You know, the name of that race was Welcome to Atlanta, but like, I'm at the end of Atlanta, so I'm pretty sure that was like one of the easy like first Atlanta races you're supposed to do. Do we gotta touch our f-stop? Why can't I do that from the remote, by the way? Just saying. I think 4 looks okay. I actually think I'm not gonna lie to you, okay? This might look a little too this may look too bright, because I think when I was looking this up, it said that the DVX 100's LCD is like quote-unquote notoriously dim. I just looked at the DVX and it looked fine. I didn't actually check the recording. But yeah, alright, so I'm going to call it there, and I'm not going to lie to you, I had pretty much everything that I wrote down. 3/4 of what I wrote down I didn't touch. I have like little notes in here. I'm like, maybe talk about ASL. You know, I talk about that, but then these like larger things I got 6 bullet points for I don't even mention. So I don't know. So this was supposed to be my May vlog, and maybe you know, maybe we'll do like a monthly thing going forward, maybe weekly, maybe bi-weekly, I don't know. Obviously I've been sick, so you know, things are a little different than usual. I think I like making the vlogs, especially I just like using this camera, man, and I like showing off, you know, my new TVs and stuff. I'm not planning on getting any more TVs, okay? But you know, you can hold this against me next time when I, you know, you hit play on the June vlog, which will come out in July, obviously. and you see a 36 incher right here. Maybe by the time the June vlog, maybe by the time it's you know, that time rolls around, I'll have this setup finished, because still, you know, a lot of it is done, but for instance, like the PS2 is still just sitting on the floor over there, and that's because I'm waiting for, guess what, a longer Ethernet cable, because everything's always like, oh, this is the perfect length, and then I just wish that it was like 5 feet longer. Alright, I'm going to call it there. So thank you for watching. Maybe, possibly, we'll be able to get this down to a like a sub 45-minute video. We'll see. We'll find out. And hopefully, okay, for future Corbin here, alright, I hope I didn't say and every other word, because oh my god, editing that was like, you know, I'm sitting there and I hit play and I'm like, okay, silence. There's a silent part here, and then there's some speaking, and then it's silence. What do I say? And I'm like, am I trolling myself? Did I record this just to upset my future self, that I just insert all these uhs and ums everywhere? Alright. Later. Peace. Thank you for watching. Seriously, I appreciate it. All 20 or 30 or 40 of you who watched the vlog, I really appreciate it. Whoa, buddy. Alright, shut the son of a gun.